Looking to replace your OEM diesel particulate filter or diesel oxidation catalyst? Look no further than DPF XFit, a complete line of aftermarket diesel particulate filters and diesel oxidation catalysts designed as an exact fit OEM replacement with all makes coverage for light, medium, and heavy-duty trucks. With thousands of units in stock, we ship the same or next day, and be sure to check out our comprehensive reverse OEM lookup tool. Always new, never remanufactured. For more information, be sure to visit dpfxfit.com. That's dpfxfit.com.
For more than a decade, FTI has strived to become the leader in the aftermarket performance transmission and converter industry. We've joined forces with McLeod Driveline Components under the leadership of Top Fuel Funny Car pilot Paul Lee, and now have a larger distribution network, more resources, and more power. Come see us in the pits and ask how you can join the FTI family. It's not cheating, it is the competitive edge.
This is WFO Radio.
Hey everybody, WFO Radio NHRA Nitro is back. That's right, the NAPA Midwest Nationals are in the books, and 50% of the NHRA playoff countdown is in the books. We got 3 races to go. Next up, Stampede of Speed and the Fall Nationals. I am headed to the Texas Motorplex on this Thursday. So if you're going to be out there, you got to let me know who's going to be there in the WFO universe. If you haven't gotten your tickets just yet, you got to get them. They're going to have Clint Black, country concerts, beer fest. It's all happening. Plus divisional racing, the champions dinner. That one's not open to the public this year, though. It's not. We're going to have every past winner that's ever been, hopefully, there. All kinds of great stuff. We'll tell you a little bit more about that later on in the show. Speaking of which, you got to share this deal. If you love Nitro, if you love Funny Car, if you love Pro Stock, we got Greg Anderson, we got Matt Hagan, Gaige Herrera. Not going to make it. I just got a text from Gaige. He's like, I got a work meeting. You know, he goes to work. That's where he's at. He's at work. So he's going to try to make it. Maybe not. We'll see. But if you're a fan of Gaige, might not happen. Just want to be honest with you up front since he is in the artwork. Jason Galvin will be joining us. We're going to break down the event. Bangers event, man. It was amazing. But let's bring on our guest of honor, Funny Car winner, second time this year, Matt Hagan, joining us now. What's up, Matt? Congrats.
Hey, buddy. How are you, Joe?
I'm good.
Good, buddy. Good. Glad to be on your show always, man. I figured you and Austin Prock were running out of things to talk about since, he's on the show all the time every time you win. So figured maybe we'd make it a little interesting this weekend and come on the show.
Thank you. And that's how it works. Hagan's been coming on forever, guys. And he always surprises me. He's like, no, man, I monitor what's going on. I know what's going on the show from time to time. And it's true. This guy's been on a lot. He's got 8 wins. But this is what playoffs are all about. You're only 20 points behind with 3 races remaining, fundamentally changing the dynamic. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, we definitely closed the gap there last weekend. But, let's be honest, right? Like, they're doing a great job over there. Austin Prock, his dad, his brother, it's a family affair, and they're working really hard. We have a lot of work to do. But one thing about Funny Cars, man, is like they're super humbling, and if they find a way to humble you, to bring you back to reality sometimes. And it's just, and I know I have in the past, I've been that way. It's like, man, think everything's going great and everything, you're just gonna kill it, and then it kicks you in the ass, and then you're like, oh man, well, here we are. We have a lot of work to do. Those guys have been doing a great job, and we're kind of playing catch up. I think we got 2 wins. Jack's got 2 wins, and everybody else has got 1, and he's got 8. So when you put that in perspective, if I was a betting man, I'd bet on them. But what's really cool is I pulled up I didn't pull it up. Someone sent it to me the other day. They asked AI the predictions of between me and Prock, battling it out, coming down to the end and all that kind of stuff. And it was really cool what AI spit out. It was just talking about how old I was and how much seat time I've had and how I've, dealt with, adversity and pressure and all this other stuff. So it's kind of cool to play into it. But that's why we have the playoffs, right? I mean, if this was regular season, he won the regular season countdown, ran away with it. But you can't count out guys like Capps and Beckman and Wilkerson and all. I mean, they're all good cars. And I mean, just look how much one race changed the scheme of things for me. And I think that's why we mix it up, right? I've been on both sides of the thing, when I guess the last time when we ran the full season not the full season, but ran it out till the end and didn't reset the points was during the COVID deal. And man, talk about like for me, that was like one of my championships I was probably the most proud of, because it's like you never knew when the season was going to end. You didn't know which racetrack you were going to go to. You just ran. You just showed up, and we were allowed to race cars. And you started off with 0 points, and you finished with this many, and that was it. And so it was really cool. And it came down to the last race, and I think it was the semifinals with me and Tommy Johnson, and it was still a battle without even resetting the points. So. These resets deal, they're always, make for nail biters. That's why I shave my hair so close on the sides, because it's got gray, man. You know what I mean? But but that's what the fans love, man, and that's what it's all about. So I'm excited to be a part of it. Very humbled and blessed that our team is clicking at the right time, and we got a good group there. They work really hard. They're really, really dedicated, motivated, and they do a good job putting a race car underneath me, man. I couldn't get it together the other day, man. I was up there, and what's really cool about my group of guys is that I can really talk to them, right? And so my lights were a little off in qualifying, and then we go first round, and I'm 114 against Laughlin. I'm like, dude, I covered the tree up. I'm like, what is going on? Well, we've had some blow ups, and we've had a bunch of different injectors on the car and barrel valves and everything else. And I pulled Newt to the side. I was like, bro, I don't know. I'm like, I'm covering the tree up, and it should be, worst case scenario, it should be 80s or 90s on race day, and I'm just like, I can't get there. And he's like, well, hold on, man. He's like, let me go over here. I'm going to reclock the barrel valve. We'll see about the injector and openings, all this kind of stuff, and come back out. And I got a 66 light, against Cruz, and it's just like, okay, well, thanks, bud. You know what I mean? But then that gave me the confidence, like, okay, well, he went out there, he worked on that. I was able to talk to him. Lights came around, all that kind of stuff. Whereas, sometimes that falls on deaf ears, and it was just really, really nice now to know that I got a crew chief that I can go to and sit down and plead my case and be like, hey, dude, I know a lot of times reaction time's me, but there's a lot of people that don't realize there's so much stuff that goes into the car with the barrel valve and the clutch levers and the primary weight and the tug and the RPM and all this other stuff, that your crew chief can help you out with some of that stuff. And he went out there and did that, man. And that spoke volumes to me as a young crew chief that took the time then, when he's over there trying to dissect all this information to go rounds, to go out here and help his driver out. You know what I mean? So that was huge for me. That was a big kind of like exclamation point in our relationship, is like, I can talk to this guy, I can come to him, he's going to work with me, I'm going to work with him. We have each other's back, and that says a lot, because don't get me wrong, crew chiefs they're amazing, but sometimes they get super focused on certain things and they don't have time. We only got like 30 minutes in between each run to really kind of pull all that information apart, make head gasket calls, go in there, look at all the parts and pieces, and still throw it back together, warm it up, and drag it up there. So not a lot of time. So that was cool. You know what I mean? It was like, all right, man, this kid, he's going to be good.
I love hearing you. All right. Couple things. Like Monica's out there. Yeah. Congratulations, Matt. Everyone is saying congratulations. You've got your fan base. You've been around a long time, doing this stuff a long time. All these good things going on. But one, scooch to your left about 3 inches. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. I want you in the middle of the box. It's just taking my OCD. It's just like, I got to have him in the middle. Man. And we love this guy, right? Knutson. He has done it the right way, learning patiently. And it's one of our great challenges in our sport. If 5 Formula One teams said, we want to get involved with NHRA drag racing, how do we get in? We don't have the staff to staff them. We don't have the guys to do it. So the young guys need to get the opportunity. And I think about Alex Conaway. I think about your guys that have been together. Phil Schuler coming over. He doesn't even want any attention. He's like, no, go talk to him. It's like, no, man, Bruno's got.
But Phil is one that supported, Newt or Stretch or Michael, whatever you want to call him, on the way up. When he decided to be my assistant crew chief, he was working underneath Phil as a clutch guy. And Phil was like, look, man, I'm not going to let you fail. If you got questions you don't know, or you don't get along with your guy or whatever, he's like, we'll get through it. So Phil goes way back with Mike and their relationship. And so when we were able to bring Phil on, it was just a real natural, good fit. And, just the energy and charisma it felt natural. So those guys cut up in the lounge, they give each other a hard time, and they're always grab assing and picking at each other. So, the energy's good, man. And so it was a natural good fit. And Phil's helped the dragster out a lot. I mean, he's gone over there. He looks at it run every time and stuff like that. And he's a dragster guy, and I was kind of like, why are we bringing a dragster guy on, but obviously Phil does a really good job with everything he does. And I get along well with Phil too, but Mike, he's been under Dickie for 15 years, man. And it just got to the time where he was like, look, I'm going to go be a crew chief, and I'm going to do it here or over there, and, let Tony figure it out. And, I think it shows a lot for Tony as an owner to be able to allow the growth of a young team when, you got a proven, tried and true crew chief that's me and him's won 3 of my 4 championships together, and 50 some races. And it's just like it was like, how do you let a guy like that go? But and we didn't. Obviously Tony gave him an opportunity to be a consultant and different things, but you got to let these young kids come up, man, and you got to try to keep your core together. And I'm happy it's turned out the way it has, because it was my ass on the line a lot, because I was kind of like, hey man, we need to do this to keep our group together. And Tony's like, what better work at your ass, so it's been good, but you just know what people are capable of. And I'm glad that Mike has been able to prove that time and time again. Now there's a lot of guys out here that haven't won a race that have been crew chiefs for a while, and Mike's got 2 under his belt now. And it's you just see things in people and you believe in them and trust them and push them forward, and the group's doing a good job.
Roscoe, who is the Yeti, says, congratulations, mustached Hagan. You bringing out the big guns with the stash. You told me a couple of races ago, like, hey man, this thing works.
Bro, it's crazy. The last 2 times I've had it out, we've won races, so I don't know if I like the stash or not, but hell, if it keeps putting Wallies up on the shelf there, we're gonna rock it for a while. I have to put some Just for Men in it here and there, you know what I mean? But all in all, it's pretty good, man. I'll deal with it as long as we need to, as long as we're winning some races.
All right, let's talk about the semis and the final, and then I got a couple of extra questions. I see people asking you questions in the chat section. Just the semis against Daniel, like all your lights after that adjustment, right? You were 66, 72, final round, 40.
Well,
right?
We were both rolled in, but we were rolled in the same amount, right? You know what I mean? So it's still, he had a 906 or something, and I had a 90 something or whatever, but it was 60 feet what I'm talking about, because but yeah, but it's the finals, you know what I mean? We rolled them in, but it's still, it's cool, 40 light, but no matter how you do the math, it still had 200s in the bank on the tree, and that's big, and that's kind of about like what like Austin has on everybody all the time, the kid's super consistent and does a good job in the wheelhouse. But I think that there's going to be, everybody does a great job when you have a great race car underneath you, and there's still some things I think that those guys have to go through and kind of earn your stripes with some stuff. I mean, my first couple of years, I thought I was going to die in a funny car. I was on fire and blowing steering wheels off and cranks falling out of it and everything else. So glad we're past a little bit of that stuff, but it gives you some grit, man. It makes you dig a little deeper and harder, because you know how bad it can go.
Absolutely. All right. So David has a couple questions. Last week we did Q&A, and I guess it's carried over.
Let's do Q&A, man. Yeah,
well,
100%.
David's got a 2-part question. He says, which of the last 3 events are you most looking forward to? I think for all of them, right? Like it's the whole thing. But going to Dallas for the Stampede of Speed's got to be pretty cool.
Oh, it's great. And it's crazy. My guy was sending over stats. I think I've been to I've won five races there or something like that. And I forget how many finals it is, but it's a bunch, and we've just done really well there, come in early, and they have the champions dinner, and that whole family with that racetrack there, they do a great job. They put up money for our guys to win on Friday night with qualifying and getting on the saddle. And then we do the autograph session too on Thursday. And it's just a lot going on, but that's how it should be, honestly. I mean, you should make an event out of it. I mean, I know all of the drivers and everybody else, we don't always have time to come in on a Wednesday or whatever it may be, but when we're showmen, right? And we're here to put on a show, and people are paying hard-earned money to see what we do and come out to the races, and anything that a track wants to do to promote that kind of stuff, I'm all about it, and it takes that kind of stuff to make our sport grow, and that whole deal over there they're doing a good job with it.
And you're the defending race winner. You're responsible for the food at the champions dinner. I'm excited about that. David also says, what about the deal with Team Elite? That's kind of a new announcement. Richard Freeman, Team Elite partnership. Tony and Richard have become great friends. I think you've gone and done some vacationing as well, like this whole unit. What about that?
Yeah, I think it's great. I mean, I don't know how far it goes or doesn't go. It's really pooling resources. Those guys, they have machine shops and, they build motors and they do all kinds of things. And Richard's a hustler too. I know he's going to go out here and try to hustle some sponsorship for maybe Tony drive a top fuel car or whatever it may be. And, I think you just try to pair yourself with like-minded people. And, him and Tony are really good friends. They get along well. Erica's great. I love her. I mean, she's been great for the sport, all the way around. And, I think when, like I said, you put yourself around good people and good things happen. And I think that Tony and Leah can see that and our group can see it. And we're all about it. I don't really know. There's no been like breaking down details of this is why we're doing this or that. It's just like, hey, we'll just pull our resources together and see what we can come up with and sponsorship wise and everything, So, one thing about it, it's the more people you have pulling the rope in one direction, the better off you're going to be.
There it is, just as simple as that. All right, Derek, going to a dark place, but since you have been in the news on this, we'll go there. It was teased this weekend on the microphone that Jim Head is working on a design to alleviate the pressure that comes from under the body. We're hoping that turns out. But Derek says, in regards to tethers, is there a design proposed that you believe in? See, my thought was, how about like a long thing that the body drags behind the car? I'm not an engineer. I am, like hillbilly logic. But your passion on that has been clear going back multiple seasons. This is something that you've been saying, and I think respectfully, like, hey guys, I really think this. So what's on the horizon? Like, look forward. What are you hearing?
Well, yeah, I think I was very clear on my stance of I don't like the tethers. I think that makes it a very dangerous situation for our driver for, a multitude of reasons. But long story short is that if we're not going to take them off, I mean, at least give me a fighting chance. I mentioned to Murph McKinney, he called me the other day, was asking about some ideas and designs and different things. I was like, well, let's make our firewalls out of, Lexan or something or plexiglass to where we could at least see, you know what I mean? Like if the body, so what happens is when the body blows up, the dash is here and the windshield's up here. And then, your parachutes are over here. You can't get to any of that stuff. You can't see. So I was like, first step is just give me an opportunity to at least see where the racetrack's at and where the wall is and where my competitor is and stuff like that. And then Tim Wilkerson's coming out with an idea of where the basically the firewall's V'd so that there's openings on the side of it to where basically when that explosion happens, that vents back through there and then out through the side windows. So I know he's working on that. And Guido has been working on trying to have like basically a spring deal where it lets the body up a little bit, but pulls it back down, let some of that the energy out from underneath the body. Hopefully doing that, it doesn't allow the body to break and split and get back to where those tethers are used to where it pulls everything up into your face as a driver. Unfortunately, I've had the body come down on my hands before. I've had them come down on my brake handle. You just can't see. I mean, we're just in a really, really bad situation. And don't get me wrong, it's not the blow ups. I mean, we're going to blow them up. People say, well, we'll detune them and, this and that. I mean, the last 4 of our blowups have been just parts failure. You know what I mean? Like there's no way to control it. I mean, so we're going to blow these things up. That's part of crawling in a nitro funny car and a top fuel car. They're going to explode. And I think that if you don't think that's going to happen as a driver, you have no business being in them. All I'm asking for is give me a fighting shot, man. Like let me have an opportunity to stop the car, keep it in my lane, keep it off the driver beside of me, at 330 miles an hour. I just don't think that's asking too much, and I don't know what the right answer is. I think, I'm down for trying to tether a longer one as long as it doesn't get in the parachutes or it doesn't whip us up into, a light pole or something like that. So I'm open for anything, but I think the first thing is like just be able to see and be able to get to the things that you know that you have to do to shut the car down safely. That's brake handle, parachutes, and visibility. And then being able to get out of the car. That's another thing that we run into too, is like there's only one way out, and that's through that top roof hatch. And when those bodies break and move and shift and those tethers bring the car back down on top of you.
And he's frozen. And he's gone. He got a call. That's exactly what happens. I see Greg Anderson signing on. Fans of Pro Stock, you can start sharing the show because G to the A is down there and he's going to get ready. Let's see what happens with Hagan. I hope he realizes he could be doing the show, right? Or maybe I'm the one that's gone. That's possible too. This is the way it is with the wide open internet. But this guy says, can't believe Matt doesn't just punch the body off. All right, Matt looks like he's repopulating down there. It looks like he's Matt, can you hear me? Matt can't hear me. That's very interesting. What's going on? We had him and then we lost him and then we had him again. And look, there he is. He's back. Matt Hagan is back. What's up, Matt? We lost you just for a second. You were talking about give me a fighting chance.
Joe.
Yes. Do you hear me? Do you hear me?
Can you hear me?
I hear you. Yes, I hear you. Do you hear me? You do not hear me. Go ahead. I hear you.
I don't know. I can't hear you.
Go. I hear you.
Let me try to log back on.
Yes, do it. There it is. It's Bluetooth or something. You know, the internet, right? What are you going to do? He's going to log back on. And then we're going to go to Greg Anderson and we're going to keep on going. Your questions are, the way I look at it, Roscoe says the audio is good. Listen, it's one of those situations where if this is what we have to fight through every once in a while, to have Matt from wherever he happens to be and have Greg from his office, I'm still amazed by the technology. Perfect opportunity for me to tell you WFO radio gear is on sale. All right, let's get him. All right, Matt, what about now?
Sorry, man. I don't know. Somebody tried to call me. I don't know. I tell everybody, I'm on the show with Joe. Why would you try to call me, man?
Right. That's okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Pick it up. Drive. You were talking about. You want?
Yeah, I was just talking about. Give me a fighting shot. Just to get the car stopped, and that's all I'm asking for. I'm not saying that the tethers are the worst thing in the world. I'm just saying they are the worst thing in the world for us. The way that things are now. Being able to stop the car, it's like playing Russian roulette, right? Like, there's a bullet in the gun and you keep pulling the trigger and it's going to go off eventually, so it's like, it comes a point in time where you break down Forces wreck and some of these other drivers wrecks that haven't been able to see, they can't get to their parachutes, and the chutes, are one of those things where they're only coming out about half the time now because, the body's, obstructed and we got, debris flying behind it and stuff like that. So it's not like it's the chutes are coming out, no problem. And you guys are going to be fine. So it's just, there's so many things on and on and on that, why we shouldn't have these bodies attached to the cars. And we've been blowing bodies off for decades. And I looked it up. I was like, I think one poor person had a report of a sprained hand from a body coming over. So I don't know. I don't want to hurt our fans. I love our fans. And obviously you can tell that, like, without our fans, we can't do this. But I just don't want to see some of these drivers get fatally injured or hurt or point where, someone's feeding me applesauce at the end of the day. And, it's just kind of like, I don't know what to do, because when I started my career, this wasn't a part of it, and, you invest the time, the energy, the money, and you're good at doing what you do. And people are kind of like, well, just walk away with it if you don't like it. But I don't think that's fair either, because, like, this is what I do for a living. And now we've had these rules kind of put on us that I don't feel like that gives us a fair shake at keeping us safe. And so I don't know what the right answer is.
And listen, conversation is the right answer. The right answer is to talk about it respectfully and work together with smart people. You listed a bunch of them already. I know the NHRA has got people that are thinking about this too. And, the idea that they don't care, like, get out there like Enzo Ferrari, right? Like, we'll get another guy in there. I think they do care and they want to fix this problem. So
I think so too. And there's no quick fixes, right? Like, and Joey and a couple of the other guys from NHRA, they're always over there like, hey, try stuff. We're open to it. Come up with it. But obviously I'd rather come from an engineer. We've been working with Dodge and different things from an engineering standpoint, versus some crazy country, bunking funny car driver like myself, so we'll let the guys that are a little smarter and got a little bit more paper knowledge to work on some of that stuff. But everything is in the works. And I think there's, what was wild was when I put that statement out there, or just did the video kind of recapping why I was so mad. I had 12 drivers reach out to me and they were like, thank you so much. We got to stand behind this. I won't name names, but it's just, it was like, it's not just me that is concerned with this. So, hey, I got big shoulders. I'm willing to take it, and whatever we need to do to try to get something moving in a positive direction.
Agreed. All right. So I'll let you off the hook on the conversation about the trolley popsicle moment. I will say your social media has been a lot of fun. You guys are just knocking the ball out of the park with Fun, interesting, lighthearted, willing to do crazy things for comedy. I was even involved in one a couple of weeks back.
You did good, man.
Thanks, but no thanks. In the future, wow. But
was
it's
great.
good. You're keeping it light, and that's
and you have to, right? Like, so even my race day fits, everybody's like, well, because I farm at home, we got 1,800 head of cattle and a bunch of land and everything else that you do. And they're like, well, unless you show up in a cowboy hat and, cowboy boots and jeans, that's not you, but of course it's not me. You think my wardrobe really looks like that? You know what I mean? I've bought a lot of stuff off of Amazon, but it's about having fun, right? And it's about not taking yourself too seriously and just enjoying the moment, man. We've missed so much stuff with our family and our kids and all these things on being on the road. And if you can't make the road fun and cut up and have just a great time doing it, why do it, man? Like, that's why you see people come in and go and leave and fade out. And I'm just taking it all in. I've been very, very blessed to accomplish everything I've ever set out to do in the sport. And I'm like, well, let's have fun, man. Like whatever, who cares what comments this or that, and I love the comments. And it was kind of wild. So many people come up to me and they're like, what's the fit this week? And that's cool. But then on top of it, we do all these challenges in our social media side of things where it's just like, we get other drivers involved, we get media involved, we get you guys involved. It's like we're just having fun, man. So if you see me coming, I got some more challenges coming up that I'm if you see me coming, you don't want to do it, run the other way. But we got a lot of things in the works, and we're having fun with it and brainstorming and having fun and trying to get the fans engaged and just having a good time with it.
Well, I love it. A team that is engaged and having fun with it is a dangerous team when it comes to the championship. Good luck in 2 weeks. Larry Spider-Man McBride out there says, you are the man. How about
He's the
that?
man. Dude, that guy's crazy. Like, no cage around him. Like, whoo.
Yeah, world champ.
Yeah, he's the man.
All right, Matt, be good. Thank you very much. We'll see you in a couple weeks in Dallas. I'm headed there on Thursday, and I'll be there for the whole Stampede, and we'll see you at the Champions Dinner.
You guys have fun, be safe. And again, thank you to our fans that support all the products and the parts and pieces and everything that we do with all of our sponsors. Without you guys, we can't do it.
Appreciate you. Thank you, Matt. Congratulations again. There he goes, Matt Hagan with us here on WFO Radio. They're having fun with it. It's just that simple. You got to have fun. The day it stops being fun, like, why are you doing it? What is the point of all of it? A guy that I know has fun. I think he has fun all the time, but when he's winning like he is right now, he has a lot of fun. He'll be joining us seconds from now. We're going to catch up with Craig Anderson after this.
Redline Oil, formulated to win, proven by me.
Redline Oil, formulated to win.
Formulated to win.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
Proven by me.
Proven by me.
Redline Oil, formulated to win, proven by me.
The number one source of friction in your engine is not what you think. Piston rings rubbing against the cylinder walls generate more friction than any other part of the engine. More friction and temperature means more wear and less horsepower. Fortunately, the team at Total Seal knows how to reduce friction and wear through innovative piston ring design. If it takes a piston, Total Seal can build a better ring.
And we are back, WFO Radio. I encourage you to share the show, repost on X, and let's grow that audience. Let's keep it going as we dive into the World of Mission Food Series Pro Stock. Just so you know, Hagan is 20 points behind Austin Prock. Beckman is 65 behind Austin Prock. Ron Capps, 125 behind Austin Prock. Daniel Wilkerson, 137. Paul Lee, 158. And the lasting legacy of Mike Dunn, in addition to all the great racing and commentary he did over the years, is the do or done line. And I don't know, man, I'm having trouble finding one. I'm having trouble because Daniel Wilkerson's running good and Capps is still good and there's 3 races remaining. So we're not going to do that. Pro stock is a different story. Let's bring on the race winner, Greg Anderson. 112, Greg, 112. The number just keeps going up. If you're a stock, you're NVIDIA. Oh, no, you're muted. Unmute yourself. Let me unmute. You got to unmute yourself. Yeah. How do I do that, Joe? That's what he said. There he is.
Now good?
Yeah. You've unmuted yourself.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good afternoon.
Good evening, depending on where they are around the world watching WFO Radio. So you got to hear Matt Hagan a little bit. the fun stuff that he's going on. What do you say about that? Are you having fun? Or are you just out there to fill like the void in your soul with victory?
I got to have fun, but I can't lie. The most fun for me is if we win. It's I don't know. I've been doing this so doggone long, Joe. It's great. I've had a lot of great wins, a lot of great victories, but the fun is winning. That's just, it's like a drug, and that's what gets you going. That's what keeps you going. So it keeps you working. It's what keeps me young, or younger anyway. So yeah, I'm still having fun. I may not be that big social media guy, but I like to have fun at the racetrack. I like to have fun, going back and forth to the races. I love the people out there. I love the fan base we have. Love interacting with them. Love the kids. It's great, and I'm going to continue doing it. Obviously, I can't drive these things forever, but when I stop driving them, I'll still be there every day. I'll still go to the races and support, whoever, whether it's Cody driving my race car or whoever it is. We're still going to have a great KB Titan racing team, and I'll be there still having fun. So it's both ways. I love working on race cars, Joe. That to me is so cool, and then to be able to drive them, that's just a cherry on top. But I love working on them every bit as much as I love driving them.
No, I can tell. I can tell. You always got a great attitude. I've never really seen you like enraged or anything. I haven't. I'm sure it's happened. I'm sure you've been angry, but I haven't seen it really. Let's start off with the race. She's in a great attitude most of the time as well. Dallas won the first two races of the countdown, though. And I'm thinking to myself, like, this could get out of hand. This could be the Dallas Glenn. We start talking historical outcomes. And then you had to run each other's second round. Dallas had to get by Jeg, got by Jeg, you got by Mason, setting up that huge matchup. And what a great race it was. Reminded me of Dallas a year ago, where I openly mused about, like, man, maybe Greg is just going to, let Dallas have this and go on to be a championship and lock it down for KB Titan in the first year. It was important. And you opened the door for Aaron Stanfield by beating Dallas. Aaron was second. You were way back. You end up winning the championship. And it was in that moment, like, solidified for me what you had said. People say a lot of stuff. You had said you'd never do that. And in that moment, it was so unlikely that you'd win the championship. So here we are again this year. You do it again. You got it. You got ahead of Dallas. You went on to win the race. And now the points are very close once again with 3 remaining. Yeah.
And the bottom line is, Joe, I realize more than anyone, it's still unlikely again this year. I mean, Dallas is absolutely, everywhere he goes, he's a win waiting to happen. He's the toughest competitor in the class right now. My hat's off to him. He does a fantastic job. He's got great equipment, and he does a great job with it. And I can once in a while, but I may not be able to do it every time like I used to do. So, hopefully over these next 3 races, I'm close enough now where if I have an extremely great 3-race run, I can contend. If I don't, then, Dallas is probably going to ride off into the sunset. But I also, I hear you guys with your do or done line, whatever you call it, but we're not there yet, Joe. It's very, very possible in this class that you've saw it really honestly for the last 3 weeks. You can lose first round without it being an upset, without anything crazy happening. You can go down first round, and that can be an 80-point swing. The World Finals, it can be a 120-point swing. So simple truth is, until we can make it to Pomona with over 120-point lead, it's not over. It's anybody's game. So we still got a lot of racing to do. Very proud of what we've done so far. We haven't coughed up the lead that we came into the playoffs with, but it's still not over, and a lot of racing to do. But, I probably saved my season this weekend by what happened, and it was all my fault. I did a poor job in qualifying. My car wasn't happy. I was making mistakes driving the race car. Certainly shouldn't have qualified where I qualified. And with that, the reward was Dallas Glenn second round if we were able to get there. And we both got lucky first round, won first round, and there was that opportunity. And, yeah, if I hadn't found a way to dig down and get around him, I could probably be saying just about close the door on Dallas this year, which obviously, I'm going to be his biggest fan when it comes to that point, but not yet. I'm not going to turn on just yet. I'm going to still keep trying to reel him in and pass him by. But if I can't, my hat's going to be off to the boy.
You're 25 behind him. Then Hartford is 160 back. Aaron Stanfield's 200 back. So it's not so much about anybody losing first round. It's about both of you losing first round, like twice.
Well, true. That is the thing. Both of us got to go down early. So that makes everyone else's job just as tough. but that doesn't mean it can't happen, Joe. I mean, obviously Dallas had Jed Coughlin first round. That could have gone either way. I had Mason first round. He can drive the wheels off that car. His car ran great this weekend. So it can certainly happen, and I would certainly expect over the next couple, 3 races, you'll see, ladder playing being gone on with people trying to match up with us, and that's what should happen. That's what we got to expect. Can't complain about that. I will never ever complain about somebody wanting to race somebody. I'll complain about somebody not wanting to race anybody, but I'll never complain about somebody wanting to match up with somebody wanting to race somebody. So, if it happens and the ladder games go on and we have to face whoever first round, we're just going to have to suck it up and find a way to win. Simple as that, Joe.
All right. So I don't want to go backwards, but I got to go backwards because I got to talk to you about this publicly. We did a quick interview after it, like looking at the points, the 25 points back, like you raced Dallas once before in this countdown, and it was Reading. And we had one of the most bizarre moments ever. And you handled it like a champ, man. You handled it so great. Away. And yeah, man, I'm kissing his butt, guys, because a lot of people would have just been angry. Like really angry and declined the interview and not talked about it. But I think it's a teachable moment for all the racers that are out there that watch the show and everything about how to handle tough moments. And that was the burnout across the starting line twice.
Yeah. And obviously, Joe, to me, it's like that was embarrassing for me. I'm obviously the only guy on the grounds that didn't know that rule, and shame on me for not knowing that rule. How could I have raced for 25 years and not know that rule? So it's all on me, 100% on me. My screw up, and I could say I handed Dallas one there, but hell, we hadn't even staged the cars yet. He certainly could have whipped my ass down the racetrack anyway. So it's not like it was an automatic win I gave up. It was going to be a tough match either way, but I would have certainly gave myself probably a 50-50 shot of beating him. So, a break went my way, and I guess this week Dallas just didn't make a great run second round against me, and a break went my way that way. So we each got one in our favor, and now we start over with 3 races to go and see who gets the next break.
You had to run. I do like in-car radios, though, right? In-car radios. Some people run them, some people don't. The crew guys got them. That you guys don't. Like, what's the methodology?
Most of my guys all have them, Joe. And I'm the old stubborn guy that doesn't want them. I don't want any distractions. I don't want people talking in my ear when I'm trying to find a little bit of focus I have anymore. And I don't want to leave the starting line or get down the racetrack and hear everybody say, "Man, what a dumbass! Why did he do that?" So I can wait till I get back to the pit, maybe hear that. So that's my dumb excuse for not having a radio. But yes, that would have saved that race. That would have saved that round, or at least given me a chance to race Dallas if I would have had a radio. But I still didn't have one in the car this weekend, and somehow we got her done.
I almost yelled at you through the glass. I was 3 feet away from you.
Everybody was, and I couldn't hear a thing.
Yeah, good. Well, I'm not allowed. I'm not allowed to yell at you.
My wife says I'm just a little bit stubborn sometimes, and it doesn't really matter what's going on around me. I ignore everybody, and I do what I think I got to do, and that's what I did, and it was wrong.
And it's worked out most of the time. All right, let's talk real quick. Matt Latino, what about this kid, right? He goes out there, he beats Aaron first round, 00 light. To me, it's been pretty amazing. His dad, #1 qualifier, first time ever in his career. But Matt is kind of like the young guy who's trying to find money, who seems to be in this pocket right now where he's doing everything right in pro stock. You got past him, but what about it?
Well, he's another one of these young guys, Joe, that's hungry, that's starved for a win. You'd think they've been racing all their life and never got one. They're 5-6 races in, and they think they just gotta have one. And I guess I can record my life, man. I never even thought about winning for the first few years, but good for them, good on them. And they could certainly care less who's in the other lane. They don't care that it's a 6-time world champion. They don't care if some guy that's won 100 rounds. They could care less. They just know when they go up there, they're going to win. They're going to beat that guy, and whatever it takes to do it. These young kids these days, they'll try anything up there on these old grizzly veterans. And Matt tried a little trickery on the stage deal, but you gotta suck it up when you're on the lane. You can't worry about what happens on the process up there. You got to be able to take it. And luckily, I kept my cool and got the job done and held the kid off for a race. But he obviously did a great job. The whole Latino family did a great job over the weekend. And for Matt to beat Aaron Stanfield first round, that was certainly a huge bonus for KB Titan, and that's definitely a big help to Dallas and my title aspirations, without a doubt. Aaron's certainly a huge threat for a championship, just like he was last year. So for Matt to knock him out first round, he certainly earned his pay.
Yeah, well, exactly. You've seen everything on the starting line, right? Like, I've heard Erica say that. Anyone that's been doing it for many, many times. I was on the starting line earlier this year with Royce Freeman while someone, and I forget the exact round, was playing a game with you on the starting line. And he said to me, he goes, man, that guy's seen everything. Nothing is going to work on him. Don't even do it. Just right straight up, which I think that was kind of like across the barrier of the teams, maybe a generational respect, like the people who have seen it kind of against the people who are trying to make their way. Like, don't even bother trying that stuff. It was a good moment.
Well, I can't lie. I certainly haven't been perfect to that. And things have happened over the years where maybe people have gotten the best on me up there, but you just got to try and keep your focus, Joe, and do the best you can. You can't use that as an excuse. There's no rule against any of that stuff up there. They can do whatever they want, whether you call it clean, whether you call it, dirty, whatever. They can do whatever they want. There's no rule book on what you have to do staging. So got to be ready for everything. And as I said, just luckily this time the mind was stiff enough that it held up and that didn't cause me to melt down like I did on the burnout.
There you go. Well, that wasn't a melt. It was just, you didn't know. You just didn't know. All right, Hartford in the final round. I want to hear your take on Matt Hartford, a very small team. We often talk about how there's a couple of super teams and people want small teams. Doesn't get much smaller than Hartford's team. They've been third best all year long. They raced their way to the final round. It was a good race. You deal with Matt on a regular basis, supplying the power over there. But when you look at that team, what do you see?
Well, he's a hell of a racer, and not only Matt, but Eddie and Adam and Amber, everybody. It's a small team, but man, they are one hell of a racers. They make my equipment look good. That's why I love him so much as a rental customer. He certainly makes our engines look good every weekend because they know what they're doing. And, they're a tight ship. There's certainly no extras going on there, but they know how to race. They know how to win. And, I've said it over the years about certain different people that know how to race and know how to win. The guy, he'll cut you with a butter knife, Joe. He knows how to do it. Whatever it takes, he'll find a way. And obviously he did a great job again. As I said, Matt Latino did us a huge favor there in the first round. Matt did us a great favor second round when he knocked Erica out. So that was both two big hits, two elite in KB Titan's favor. So big day for KB Titan, and Matt was a big part of it. And don't think for 1 minute that I didn't respect the heck out of him in the final round. He certainly had my number plenty of times this year. And he's very capable of winning, and he made a great run there and did a great job. And it was just a great drag race, simple, great drag race. And we both rose and did a great job, and I got the win light this time.
Just that simple. And the points are now very close, headed to Dallas, 3 to go. This is a huge race, the Stampede of Speed, 12 days, country music. Then we have the big champions dinner. I know you're going to be there for that, I would assume, because It's the 40th anniversary and they've invited back everybody that's ever won. And we're going to have ourselves a good time that night. But then all of a sudden, I don't know, it's like the back nine on a golf course. If that analogy works, we're starting the back nine, and it always just feels more intense. Once we go through Dallas, things really take shape. What do you see that lies ahead?
It does. I love racing at Dallas. I love that racetrack. Love everything about it. Love the Meyer family and all they do for us. It's a great week. And I don't know, Joe, I'm not a stat guy, but I'll bet you if you looked up the history of that place and looked up the stats, you'll find that way more so than not, the person that's able to conquer and win that race, win the Dallas Motorplex, Texas Motorplex race, many times goes on to be world champion. So I think it's huge. I think it's definitely the pivotal race of the countdown. And if you get through that one and you're still in good shape, then you feel really good going to the next two races. If you don't do well there and you stumble there, it just gets really tense the last two races. So love going there. Looking forward to it. Love everybody involved with it. Elin does a great job of marketing everything and promoting everything, and Christy does a fantastic job. And then Billy, he's the man. He created that place, the first superplex, motorplex, first great racetrack, and it's held up all these years perfectly. Never really changed. For 25 years, whatever, it's been 40 years. Never really changed the surface, and it's a great place to race. So I love going there. Looking forward, and we start out big on Wednesday.
Yeah, exactly. Amazing 40-year-old concrete, and it's still laying down some big.
Never been touched. That is amazing.
Yeah. Well,
obviously the technology that Billy Meyer or somebody came up with, way ahead of its time.
Clearly. Well, we're not using it now. I don't know what we're doing. Like the post-tension concrete, that thing that it shrinks and expands.
Apparently we regressed.
I don't know. There's many factors involved. I don't know what they all are. Greg, thank you very much.
Billy Meyer, well, we got to fix the next racetrack, it sounds like.
Well, they're doing a great job with that event. And yes, Billy is a creative individual, to say the least. First with, tractor trailers, and he's got a lot of historic firsts. Greg, thank you very much for coming on the show once again. You just keep racking up those victories, man. It's amazing. It's amazing to see. 3 races to go. Good luck.
Thank you, Joe. I really appreciate it, buddy. Going to give her all I got.
All right, there you go. Thank you so much. Greg Anderson with us here on WFO Radio. Arguably the greatest of all time already, hunting down a 7th championship. That would be insanity. Dallas Glenn, though, I know Dallas is not going to give up. If Dallas wins the world championship, I think Dallas would love it to be against the greatest of all time in a head-to-head matchup. Looking at the point standings, though, it's pretty interesting. I went back to the race a year ago. It's the semifinals. Dallas Glenn is the points leader. He's got to run Greg, and Greg gets him to go to the final round. Then Greg loses to Jeg. At that moment, I'm thinking to myself, oh, now the door is open for multiple drivers. And Aaron Stanfield is ready to drive through that hole and win the championship. And it's just like team racing versus selfish racing. And I don't think anybody thought Greg would be able to do it at that point, and he did it. So what that should tell you is, you gotta believe in yourself, because he clearly did, and he did it, and he won. And so now, looking at the point standings, 25 back, that's less than 1 round of racing in Pomona, which is the way we've all kind of adapted to that at this point. We've all adapted to, it's not, everything needs to be viewed in the context of a 1.5 round at Pomona. The final round for the championship, how much is that worth? It's worth 30 points. And so when I look at 25 points, he's within 1 round at Pomona. And so if Dallas and Greg ran each other in the final round, if things remain exactly the same, Greg wins the title. It's pretty exciting, the stuff that I'm seeing out there. All right, guys, put your comments in the comment section. Jason Galvin going to be joining us seconds from now. I do want to tell you about a couple of people that makes this show possible, but I want your thoughts. I want your opinions. We'll have a couple of minutes. Me and Galvin will talk about some of your ideas as well as we go over our ideas. HusseyPerformance.net. They're not just copper head gaskets anymore. For all you race teams out there, alcohol teams, top sportsman, top dragster. If you want high quality gaskets, they have composite material gaskets now, in addition to the copper gaskets. I've got copper on the exhaust side of Project Pontiac because the OE gaskets that I got, I was scraping them. It took me 2 hours to get them off. I was like, can never do this again. And fortunately, Dave and Allen and the team shot me over some perfect exhaust gaskets for my Edelbrock cylinder heads. 412-716-4872. That is the office. They've got a contingency program in the NHRA for top alcohol dragster, top alcohol funny car, top sportsman, top dragster. Over there in the PDRA, top sportsman, top dragster. They, you can start an order on their website. You can give them a call or email. They've got very quick and fast turnarounds. So check them out, HusseyPerformance.net. It's all sourced right here in the United States of America. They don't need to bring anything back because they never left. And I admire that greatly. So thank you to the folks at HusseyPerformance.net. I also want to shout out to Bernie's Speed Shop, BURNYZZ.com, Bernie's. This is Josh Hart's home base, over 100,000 square feet in Ocala, Florida. And it's a dealership for classic cars and muscle cars and exotic cars. And they're selling cars, of course, e-bikes. They sell e-bikes. But what I think is best for the WFO universe out there is they're always looking for inventory as well, inventory. So if you've got a classic car, a muscle car, an exotic car, it's a couple years old, you're looking to sell it, you're going to put it out on the corner with a sign? Why don't you let the pros do it at Bernie's, BURNYZZ.com. You can follow them on social media and check them out. Bernie's Speed Shop. Thanks to Bernie's for being on board with WFO. Thanks to HusseyPerformance.net for being on board with WFO. And of course, Foggit, Foggit. Foggit is available at SummitRacingEquipment.com. Gary Stinnett, Steve Williams put this company together. And now you look around, racers have adopted Foggit. We need to move it beyond drag racing, though. At the end of the night, you finished racing, you're a bracket racer. Why would you just throw your race car in the trailer and allow microscopic damage to be done to your cylinder finish. You got to fog it down. It takes 30 seconds. All right. In the actual process takes 30 seconds, but the whole process of getting the can and holding the carburetor open and spinning the starter, maybe it takes 5 minutes. It's worth it. FOGGIT, foggit.com. Appreciate them. And of course, our great friends at FTI Performance Transmissions and Torque Converters, Total Seal Piston Rings. We're going to have John DeFlorian on the Hidden Horsepower podcast to talk about his world championship, but I've got an on-location interview with John DeFlorian as well. When it comes to ring seal, they are the industry leader. Thanks to Jesse Converters as well. You heard about them at the start of the show. And last night, our Patreons. If you want to join the VIP listener club, that is Patreon, patreon.com/WFO Radio. Appreciate all of these folks who make it possible for us to go WFO. Frank Hawley, the Dragster Adventure, makes a great gift. Drive a dragster and do it for the holidays. Get one for you and your best pal. Go out there, drive dragsters. They come around the country and get the experience. FrankHawley.com, and tell them you heard about it on WFO Radio. All right, when we come back, we're going to try to connect with Jason Galvin from the NHRA, and that's all coming up after this.
Drag racing fans, check out Drag Race Bracket Bonanza. It's the free, family-friendly fantasy bracket game. Now, after final qualifying at every national event, you can fill out your bracket for all the pro classes.
It's free, easy to click on your picks. If you need some help, just hit the randomizer button to fill in the blanks. It's for fun, stay engaged, and pick your winners today.
Drag Race Bracket Bonanza. And if you, Tim Kalungian calling me. What's up, Tim? Don't you got to know I got a show, right, Tim? Love Tim Kalungian, White Alligator Racing. All right, who is leading the countdown in the WFO League of Drag Race Bracket Bonanza? I know you want to know this. It's a Super Stock 4126, which is Walt Walker. Walt is a super insider, and he's clearly getting it going again. Texas Buckeye, second. Dave is third. Dave, the creativity on the name, man. Come on. Don't you play fantasy sports? You're supposed to do something crazy. Fourth is Obi, and fifth is Blaine. That is the countdown in the WFO Radio League for Drag Race Bracket Bonanza. And the for the race, it was what? Cruiser S gets the job done and wins the week. O2 Plum, second. Sacramento Racing Fan, third for the race. And the overall season in the WFO Radio League is Obi, followed by, what is it? GG Steven 87. So there you go. We're coming down to the wire with only 3 races remaining. The Drag Race Bracket Bonanza WFO League. All right, so Galvin just texted me that they're wrapping up a meeting. One thing about, I'll let you inside a little bit. One thing working in the NHRA, the National Hot Rod Association, is you have many meetings. There are many meetings in the NHRA. So while we wait for Galvin, let's see what you got to say. Ben Blomberg, Stampede of Speed will be off the hook. Can't wait. See you there. Let's find out how off the hook it's going to be. I just received an email. Massive group of NHRA superstars scheduled for Texas Fall Nationals Fan Fest. This is the best fan fest on the tour. It is in Waxahachie at that rail yard park. Each year it has grown. Last year, it was wild. You had Andy Ross performing. I don't know who's going to perform here. For 40 years, the biggest names in NHRA drag racing have descended on the Texas Motorplex, making historic runs and wowing the fans in the grandstands. This year, more than 50 NHRA Mission Foods Drag Racing Series drivers and riders, including fan favorites Brittany Force, Tony Stewart, Justin Ashley, Ron Capps, Antron Brown, Texans Steve Torrence and Erica Enders, plus Matt and Angie Smith, and more, are scheduled to sign autographs at this free event. Head for the 5th consecutive year at Rail Yard Park, just south of historic Waxahachie Town Square. JEGS All-Stars participants will also join. That was really cool. This is the largest free driver autograph session of the year, says Christy Meyer Johnson. 2 years ago, we added the JEGS All-Stars participants. The Fan Fest has become one of the best family-friendly events on the tour. It absolutely is. There's music. There's fun. It's great. And there's going to be so much racing. If you make it to be a JEGS All-Star, then you get to be a part of this Fan Fest. And it's like JEGS All-Star right over there, Brittany Force. and people are coming and they're signing and the track has provided, you're probably wondering, well, what if the Jegs All-Stars don't have their own hero cards? You know, they're not pro racers. They're not spending all their budget on that. I'm sure someone out there thinks it's terrible, knowing our group out there, right? There's got to be one that thinks it's the worst thing that the Jegs All-Stars are put in the position to have to sign autographs. There's always one. There's always one. But they're provided hero cards and a wonderful place, and even the Sharpies. It's really a great thing by the track. Thank you, Texas Motorplex. Really excited about that. All right, so we're working on Galvin. Galvin may or may not happen. I'm going to proceed sans Galvin, and we'll talk a little bit about the other NHRA results from this race, like Top Fuel with Doug Coletta. Doug gets the job done. And someone asked early in the show, why no Doug? Well, we had 3. We've been doing 3 winners now. Gaige Herrera was supposed to be here, and he's at work. That's the thing. Gaige always takes a few minutes off of work to join us on the show. So we had no Gaige. Galvin's working. Everyone's working because there's a lot of work going on. Texas Motorplex coming up next. 3 races to go. We're on the back 9. Brittany Forrest was the number 1 qualifier. Was she? I'm looking at the wrong thing. I'm looking at last year, where Brittany ran Spencer Hyde in round 1. That's kind of interesting. I'm looking at the wrong results from the wrong year, but I'll get there eventually. But a little interesting juxtaposition of where Spencer has gone in 1 year. Interesting. All right, here we go. Doug Coletta wins the race. And a year ago, Brittany is the number 1 qualifier. And this year, Brittany is not the number 1 qualifier. And that was the downfall, I guess. Doug defeats Will Smith. Doug goes on to defeat Steve Torrence. Doug goes on to defeats Justin Ashley in the round that I've got circled as potentially pivotal. Doug Coletta, Justin Ashley, Sean Langdon, looking at the point standings, it's going to be very tough. Those are your top 3. Justin is 86 behind Doug. Sean is 127 behind Doug. Tony Stewart's 153 behind Doug. Clay's 182 behind Doug. And, you know, I don't know where the line falls just yet. But Justin Ashley is above the threshold. And Sean Langdon, because of his, you know, nearly inhuman capabilities, you got to keep him in the mix too. These are top field dragsters. Someone could stumble, perhaps. But Doug Coletta looking very strong. And Doug was 68. Justin Ashley was 45, but just got outran. They smoked the tires down there. 380 for Doug. Doug goes to the final against Ida. Let's talk Ida. Ida Zetterstrom. She is fighting for something bigger than a championship. She's fighting for her opportunity to race in the Mission Food Series as a top fuel racer. Came to the NHRA with fanfare. Has been willing to do whatever it takes, like helping us out on the broadcast. There are racers that would say no to that. I know a lot of people think it's a great opportunity, and it is. But not everybody would realize that. Ida recognizes it's a great opportunity to be out there, to talk the sport, to train yourself, to hone yourself media-wise, to make a great relationship with the drivers and everybody involved in the sport. She goes out there first round against Tony Stewart and factors into the championship. Now, I'm willing to say there was a luck factor. Anytime you have a 000 light, it's luck. Could have been 001 red. In the Lucas Oil Series and Super Comp and Super Gas, we see a lot of 000 lights. We give away a challenge coin for it. Did Ida get a challenge coin? Did anyone bother to give Ida her challenge coin? I didn't. She deserves one. She had a 000 reaction time. Stewart is 26, hitting it. But they didn't get down the track. Ida did. And wins the round and knocks out Stewart. And maybe, like at the end of the season, when you think about championship hopes, they could have disappeared right there for smoke because she had a perfect light. There's a luck component at all times. Then Ida goes on second round, runs Kyle Wurtzel. Galvin is coming. Now I'm in full stall mode. Semifinal. Kyle Wurtzel, by the way. Great job for that team. Dom Lagana, John Stewart. These part-time teams, Zizzo out there. Zizzo goes red first round against Steve Torrence. Throws away a victory. He said he was in deep. The hole shots and the upsets and the part-timers all emerging for St. Louis. Antron Brown was Ida's victim in the semifinals. And then in the final round, Ida's 65. She left on Doug, but didn't get down the racetrack. And, if she had run another 80, it would have been a very close race. I think Doug would have, we just don't know. We just don't know. She went 80 with a 1. She went 80 with a 2. She could have dialed up that 80 with a 2 again. Ida would have won the race. But you got to give the young lady credit. Craig Anderson, credit. Matt Hagan and the Austin Prock deal, credit. And then there's Gaige Herrera, which we did not have Gaige. Galvin is here. Galvin has JJ with him. Or no, it's got Kobe.
Kobe's
Kobe.
here.
What's up, Kobe?
Here.
What's up, Galvin?
He's teething, Joe. So we're gonna hold him on standby here.
Don't punish him for that. That's a natural thing, man. Come on. Give him
I also
a break.
don't know why my video is frozen. Is it frozen on your end? That's very exciting.
Yes, it is frozen.
There it is. Hi.
All right. We're not going to have you for a long time. We know.
Yeah.
The folks back at NHRA, they're, the next meeting is getting queued up.
We're okay. I think I just cleared my slate for you, Joe. I'm good for, I got 3 hours, dude.
We don't want you that long. I don't want to be here that long. I'm still, you could tell I'm in vocal recovery. It was a big weekend. There was a lot of big events happening. So let's talk Gaige having to come from behind. We'll start there since we did not connect with Gaige today. He's working. It's going to be fun.
What is this work thing? Yeah. Listen, Pro Stock Motorcycle, I think we talked about this Sunday night, right? But at least at the top has become very interesting. I mean, there's the compelling conversation of Gaige having to chase down Richard Gadsden, which he's now, it's so hard. The points and a half thing at the end of the year, I love it because it makes things compelling. It's hard to explain it throughout the year, right? Like, oh, he's 29 points back, so he's 2 rounds back. I mean, but you and I both know, just be inside of 30 on race day at the World Finals, right? So Gaige has, at this point, raced himself to that point. And Matt Smith is within 60. And I think that's like the second line, right? He's 53 back, but get yourself within that extra round because then you just never know what can happen, right? So it's going to be fun watching Gaige try to chase Richard down. But I mean, let's be honest here. Also, if Gaige goes to Dallas and does what he just did last weekend, which is kind of run roughshod over everybody and get a break where he needed it in the finals, I mean, there's a window for Gaige to come right back. So as much as I'm excited to watch Gaige try to chase Richard down, and Matt Smith for that matter now too, coming to a track that Matt's had a lot of success at, I also think it's going to be fun to watch, like, how does Richard Gadsden respond? How does Eddie Krawick respond? Because Richard did a great job riding that bike this weekend. Remember, he needed a whole shot to get around Steve Johnson. So Richard Gadsden is riding like a champion, but how does Eddie Krawick respond now that he's tuning for a championship and not just with himself on the bike, right? Which I think we all know how Eddie's capable of responding, but that to me is going to be fun to watch with Pro Stock Motorcycle.
Oh, and totally agree.
I don't know that John Hall is, totally out of it at this point. He and Angie are, within striking distance because of the points and a half, but we're going to need another Reading situation, right? Like either John or Angie. Dallas feels like the line of demarcation for those two. Like in Dallas, must win the event, must make up big time ground. You can't go into Vegas having Gadsden, Gaige, and Matt Smith 3 or 4 rounds ahead of you. And that goes for every category, I feel like.
Now, earlier we were talking about this weekend, we were talking about Rookie of the Year get brought up. Spencer Hyde is pretty much the shoe-in for Rookie of the Year, but someone, and maybe multiple people said, what about Braden Davis, right? Like, well, what if Braden Davis, 1 thou red? We were talking about Ida moments ago and her 000 perfect reaction time against Tony Stewart and how, I'm not afraid to call that, a lucky element. It's lucky because Braden Davis was on the other end of the luckiness. He was unlucky. He was 001 red. And when you're talking 1,000th of 1 second, you can't tell me it's skill. It's a random element of the physical world. How
1 thou red, 1 thou red, and a couple thou late at the U.S. Nationals, right? Like, let's not forget Gaige beat him because Gaige was 00 on a whole shot at the U.S. Nationals in the final round. So Braden Davis is like 100th of a second combined away from having 2 wins this year. And is Spencer Hyde the Rookie of the Year if Braden Davis has won 2 races? The answer is no, right?
The answer would probably be, like, if he wins 1 race out of his few in Pro Stock Motorcycle, people might not push him over the top. If he had won the U.S. Nationals in this race, then maybe they would have. There's Kobe.
What if he races his way in? What if he 1 year old last week, by the way, while we were in St. Louis?
Happy birthday, buddy.
Yeah, happy birthday, buddy. What happens if Braden Davis races his way into championship conversation? Like, that might sound ridiculous to some people, okay? He made up a bunch of ground last weekend. He's 6th. He's 157 out, which is within striking distance at the World Finals. But I mean, what if he goes to the finals against John Hall this weekend, right? That puts Gaige, Matt, and in Dallas 2 weeks, right? That puts Gaige, Matt, and Gadsden all out before the finals. I mean, all of a sudden we get to Las Vegas and Braden Davis is within 2 rounds, wins a race. Like, there's a conversation to be had. I think this was a shoe-in when we left the U.S. Nationals, no question, right? Spencer Hyde run away. I think if you and I were voting today, which I know I have a vote, I think you do too, right?
Yes.
Like, I think if we were voting today, I can't speak for you, but I know I would vote for Spencer Hyde today, and I don't even have much hesitation. But I'm not ready to write Braden off. I'm frankly not ready to totally write Cody Coughlin off. Like, Cody Coughlin went to a final in the countdown. He's there. What if Cody Coughlin wins a race down the stretch? You know, and Spencer Hyde can negate all of this by winning Dallas, because if Spencer Hyde wins Dallas, then I'll just fill my vote out after Dallas, and that'll be that.
Daniel Wilkerson says that Kobe is hands down the most well-behaved baby I've ever seen on a podcast. Thank you, Daniel.
Steve Wilk.
D. Wilk. I love that he's out there. I just love that Daniel Wilkerson, he's going to be on here someday soon. It's just a matter of time. They're like,
his day to win is coming very quickly. He and I were texting yesterday. I told him that.
Right. Have the kid pick the winners in the finals, right? Like, they're trying to put the kid to work. No, we're not doing it. You want to mention anything about Doug Coletta, Justin Ashley semifinal matchup before we move forward? Just we didn't talk with the representative from Coletta here this week, but Doug, like, I'm wondering, it could go either way. And Justin Ashley with his great reaction times, that's great. He's amazing, but we're getting to the Alan Johnson portion of the schedule, and it's very possible that Alan Johnson could just flip a switch and they could accelerate to a victory of over 150 points. We don't know. We'll know a lot more after Dallas, but
I thought about that on the flight home though, Joe, because like I that's part of kind of my Monday routine is I pull points up and start really trying. It's so hard in the moment. Like, I think we do a good job of talking about points in the moment, but then to realize where the points actually, like, what are those implications, right? I need Monday. I need to sleep on it. I need to really stare at it. And I started staring at the points on Monday, and I thought about that in Top Fuel. Like, Doug Coletta is 86 points up on Justin Ashley. It feels likely that Doug Coletta will out-earn Justin Ashley on qualifying points the rest of this year. Maybe that won't be the case. But history would tell us that is likely the case, which could potentially put him, 90. All of a sudden, we're talking about 3 runs going to the World Finals. We get to Sunday at the World Finals, and all Doug Coletta's got to do is win round 1 to win the world title. Like, Top Fuel all of a sudden is what most people thought Funny Car was this year, right? Like, Funny Car all of a sudden is crazy tight. Matt Hagan's there. I'm sure we're going to talk about Funny Car. Jack Beckman's not far behind. The Top Fuel, like, to your point, if Alan Johnson goes on a heater and they go into Dallas, and they win Dallas, Top Fuel, like, the rest of the class is in trouble. Kobe agrees.
Oh no, he agrees. He's a Justin Ashley fan.
Agrees. He's a Justin Ashley fan.
Right. Yes. He just wants to see close racing.
He wants to go have fun. There. I'm going to let him
go chew on something. He's going to go chew on something, right? That's
no, he's trying to walk. He took his first steps Wednesday before I left for St. Louis. I got to see it. It was great.
That's wonderful that you got to see.
But anyways, I mean, what are your thoughts, Joe? You ask me questions on the show all the time. Nobody ever asked you a question. I mean, Top Fuel all of a sudden, like, we're close to a 100-point gap. Like, if we go to Las Vegas and it's 100 and something up, like,
well, and to expand on it, absolutely. To expand on it, the biggest element that holds Doug Coletta back in his career is no longer in existence, which is the fact that he has never won. That was the big problem for Doug every time he rolled to the starting line. He had never done it. And at some level inside, he was fighting against himself and all of the bad luck and the weird things and all the second place finishes. And you have to learn how to win. We talk about it with race wins. And once you win that first race, the second race comes rather quickly because you've broken through and you've convinced yourself you can do it. And so all those years, some element in the cosmos or in his mind or just bad luck prevented Doug from winning. But then he won, and now that's off the table. He finished second last year, and now he's back. Oh my gosh, can I win it? Yes, I can win it. I won it 2 years ago. And to me, that's trouble. That is trouble. You got Alan Johnson, you got Doug Coletta, highly motivated. You got all the budget in the world. You got Coletta Motorsports. And so if they were to just, I won't say run away with it, but if they did, I'm not surprised at all. I'm not surprised at all. And if they just imposed their will upon the field over these next 3 races, I wouldn't be surprised at all, because there's nothing holding Doug back. There's no internal doubt. I've never done this before. What's up? Are the gods against me? Am I not meant to win this? No, he knows that's over. And so watch out for Doug Coletta.
A smaller example of that, Richard Gadsden won his first pro stock motorcycle race. Took him a month to win another one.
Yeah.
Points leader, 1 race into the countdown, right? Like to your point, same thing. I mean, how many times have we heard from Richard Gadsden in the last year and a half? Most people couldn't believe he didn't win a race his rookie year, and then it took him 4 or 5 races this year. And the little things, the red light, the whole shot, the bike shifted into 4th gear out of 1st gear multiple times, all that little stuff. No, we're there now, right? Richard Gadsden's there. And there's a different swagger about Richard Gadsden that you see now that he's got that monkey off his back, right? And I think you're right. Doug's in the same spot.
Yes, exactly. All right, so let's move over to Funny Car. We heard from Matt Hagan a little bit earlier. We had a fun conversation. Hagan is 20 points out of the lead. This is countdown racing right here. Austin won. Hagan made a joke. He's like, Joe, I watched the show. He's like, Austin has run out of things to talk about, so I decided to jump on this week. 20 points. Beckman 65 back. Caps 125 back. I'm not willing to count any of those guys out because it's so tough in Funny Car. Daniel Wilkerson, since he's out there watching, he's 137 back. Daniel running the best he has in his career. Like, the car is good and it's going down the racetrack and he's in a good spot now. And they got a little, extra on the line. So if you're Austin Prock, it would be easy to let a little doubt creep in. I don't expect he will, but this is when it happens.
Well, and we're going to a track, Joe, let's face it, where if Austin's got PTSD from any event as a funny car driver in his career, right? And I mean, we've talked about all the stats. So what he's done in funny car has been pretty remarkable. Is it not Dallas? I mean, think about last year, right? Dallas, you never wish anything bad to happen to anybody, let alone your teammate in this situation. But Jack Beckman can't make the call round 1. He's got vertigo. He's not there. Austin's got a chance to put the world title away, right? Have a day. And even though there's still 2 races left in the countdown, basically put it away, right? What's he do instead? They have a mechanical issue with the car. They have an air issue, as I recall. Car doesn't start. Car gets shut off on the starting line. Austin climbs out of the car, storms off the starting line. Like, we all remember that moment, So, we'll see how the team handles that coming in here. Do they come in with revenge on their minds and take the world by storm and reclaim funny car? Or is this something that lurks in the back of their mind? Dallas was the one race in the countdown last year that was really, not great for them.
Yeah. Well,
the one time they showed a chink in the armor in a year and a half, since Austin started driving that car, was the race we're going to next. I'd have to imagine that at least creeps into your mind at some point. It's human nature.
Right. And what they have done to this point is rally and conquer whenever they have had their back against the wall. But these are Nitro funny cars, and anything is possible. They don't just go down the racetrack. And so that's why it's very exciting. If you're a fan of Matt Hagan, if you're a fan of one of those other drivers, like you have to feel energized. He is human, they're human. They're human over there. They can have a problem. It's not inevitable. And there's going to be chaos in some class, right? I really don't care what class it's in, but I'm here for that, pro stock last year, right? Top field 2 years ago. Yep.
Final pair, final race of the season. It's going to happen in some category. It feels inevitable.
Yes. And we just got off with Greg Anderson. He and Dallas feel like a 2-horse race to me. I was talking to Hartford. He's 160 back. Anything's possible. But Dallas and Greg aren't both losing first round in 2 of the next 3 races. Like, that just seems impossible. They've been the 2 best cars all year long, Dallas and Greg. And, if we're talking about deserving or they've been the best or whatever, it feels to me like those 2 are going to fight once again for a championship. And the real story is, youth versus experience. It's next generation versus the generation that currently has the power. And I can see fans of Elite Motorsports rooting for Dallas Glenn, like to just knock this guy out of there. Come on, enough Greg. I could see people picking a side based on their age, their dynamic, how long they've been around. That would be entertaining to me.
You're a Yankees fan, right? I mean, Greg is the Yankees at this point.
Yes, Greg is the Yankees. And the
I
Yankees.
mean, there's no
Yanks.
I mean, there's no disrespect to anybody else who's ever driven a pro stock car, right? And like Bob Glidden, different time, different era. Warren Johnson, different time, different era. Lee Shepard. I mean, no disrespect to what Erica's done in her career, and she's certainly, from a talent standpoint, in a conversation. And she's won 6 world titles, so she's risen to that occasion. She also, I mean, she's 25 years younger than Greg, so there's a long time for Erica to get and make a run at 100 wins and all this other stuff, right? But I mean, as it stands today, Greg is the Yankees. Like, he's the one. He's been around, the longest. He's got the most wins. He seemed to go away. 3 years ago, everybody might have started thinking like, Greg's on the back end of his driving career, and when does Dallas Glenn become the primary car there, as Dallas was, coming up through his rookie year and second year and taking the world by storm and whatnot, and who will they put in the car next? Joe, you remember the conversations. You started asking, when is Greg going to put Cody in the car? Like, Cody's got to want to drive, right? When does Greg step out and put Cody in the car? Like, I don't think we're anywhere close to that all of a sudden, right? I mean, like, Greg is back in a big way. He won the title last year. He's had a great car this year, but he is the Yankees. It would be human, nature for a lot of people. The Yankees
wish that they were Greg Anderson right now. Okay,
very true. Very true.
Let's hope.
Very true.
But it's been a long time since we've won anything. We would love to be Greg Anderson.
Yeah. Sorry, Joe. You see this?
Yeah, I see.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. Title goes through LA until it doesn't. Just throw that out there.
That's fine. I remember the 5th inning last year. I remember that.
Yeah,
we're playing. Yeah, I was on my way to Vegas. I was going to the steakhouse at Circus. I get off the plane. We're leading. I arrive at the steakhouse at Circus where the game's tied. Like, what the heck happened? Oh, well.
Aaron Judge also remembers the 5th inning.
Yeah, everybody does. Everybody does. Well, maybe they're back. Maybe they've got something to prove. Maybe they feel it. We'll see.
Maybe.
Maybe. All right, before we let you go, Pro Mod, wide open, amazing, 11 points. Billy Banica was the points leader, gets beaten first round, like just chaos in Pro Mod. Really fun stuff going on throughout, and we've got one race to go. It'll be Vegas, so we got a little time to preview that. Derek Menholt gets his first ever win, though. Drained one at the stripe. That's unfortunate, but your first win, you always remember it.
Well, it's 2 weeks in a row, right? I mean, Billy Banica the week before, Derek Menholt. Like, what are we going to get in Vegas? Like, I cringe thinking about the random possibilities in Pro Mod for how we're going to determine who wins the race. And listen, here's the thing with Pro Mod. Because of their point structure and the shorter road to the championship, I mean, who wins Vegas is likely going to win the world title in Congruity Pro Mod, right? And again, they're 1.5 points, Joe. So we're going to roll into Las Vegas, and Billy Banica, Mike Cervinos, Derek Menholt, and J.R. Gray are in the same round based on points right now. Like, same round, 4 cars. Like, part of me wants to run Vegas 4 wide just for Pro Mod. Like, just stick those 4 cars together and let them run for the title. But there's still, 6 or 7 other cars that, you could very easily create a path to a championship the way that Pro Mod has gone this year. Mike Cervinos doesn't qualify 2 races to go after winning Indy. Loses by 1 thou to J.R. Gray last weekend. Like, how close is Mike Cervinos to walking away from this? Very. Instead, he's not the points leader. Billy Banica wins the weirdest final round of all time. 4 cars leave before the tree activates. I mean, that's a 2-round swing in points. Like, Billy could have been the first one to leave there or the second one to leave, and he would have been the semifinalist. Instead, he wins the race, right?
Let's address something real quick that I didn't know was the case, and I got a clarification. I had a lot of people come up to me after the 4 wide in Charlotte and say, hey, man, Banica was on the line, man. Banica was on the line. And I know when I saw Banica was on the line. But what I didn't know, and I'm sure you know, but I didn't know, I want to put it out there into the public just so everybody knows, is that the touch the line versus cross the line amendment that we had made a couple of years ago in the Mission Foods series. It used to be cross over the line. And then they said, if you touch the line in the Mission Food series, I was under the impression that that was applicable to everyone. And it is not. It is not. So everyone who had said Billy was on the line, you are right. He was on the line. But in Pro Modified, being on the line is not a problem. Being on the line is okay. You have to cross the line, the rule that we had lived for our entire lives. So for anyone who had questions, I talked to several people on the plane. They were confused. They were bewildered. They didn't understand. There are two different center line infraction rules for the Mission Food Series and the Nitro cars, and for everybody else.
Correct. Yeah. Lucas Oil Series, all that stuff. Yeah.
Yes.
Alcohol cars still live by the old rule. Touch the line all you want. You could ride the line the whole way down the track as long as you don't go over it or hit the blocks, right? I mean, so you obviously can't ride it the whole way down the track. You got, incrementals of 200 or 300 feet, but like same rule. Correct. So you are right. There's something we could have done a better job of explaining, but frankly, there was so much chaos happening.
Right.
Amplified by the fact that it was the final set of cars down the track. So we're trying to get to post race, but oh no. I mean, at one point there was a conversation, do we have to rerun this? Which most people I don't think realize either. The thing they were watching when they were looking at the replay had to do with the line. As I was told, later on after the fact, they made a pretty quick, diagnosis that Billy touched the line but didn't go over, right? The thing that became a question mark was, did Billy also leave before the tree fired? Because if all four cars leave before the tree fires, there's no race to win at that point. Until the timing system activates, you can leave 20 seconds early or 15 seconds early, and by the lay of the law, you just left before the tree activated, which is a double DQ, except for final with four cars. Like, there was a conversation, like, what do we do? Do we quadruple DQ and everybody's a semifinalist? Do we run it again? Like, those are all things that were happening like rapidly in race control, right? That's why we went back and watched that replay so many times. The one thing about Charlotte that made that unfortunate is it's the one race, Joe, Sonoma, where we are so removed from race control. We're 5 rooms apart. That normally we'd be close to race control and I could mute the mic and walk out and be like, guys, what are we actually doing? And somebody would have said, we're looking to see, did any of the cars leave after the tree fired? Like, we understand they're all red, but did the tree fire before somebody broke the beams? And then I would have been able to better explain it. And unfortunately, I couldn't in that moment because of what was going on, right? But that was what they were looking for, was, did Billy's car break the beams after the ambers flashed? Because at that point, then the race has begun. So if everybody else moved, that's fine. And what they determined was both Castellano and Billy had broken beams with the rear tires, but they broke the beams, and that Castellano broke it first, which made him the runner-up, and then Billy broke it second, which you could clearly see on the video. But that's why they looked at it so many times. It was just chaos. Like, if that would have happened last weekend, again, not a 4-wide track, but Vegas is a 4-wide track. We don't run Pro Mods 4-wide there. But if that would have happened in Vegas, I could have muted the mic and walked 10 feet and talked to 3 different people, and they would have been able to give me an answer, and we could have better explained that. But that's why we had so much chaos at the end of that race.
Yeah, there it is. Just wanted to clear that up.
To your point, Derek Menholt, like, he's, Menholt, Castellano, like, I want to know what happened to Mike. Car went quiet, like, couldn't get back in it, couldn't pedal it. I'm guessing had no throttle, safety system shut the car off. Menholt, yard sales won it. 700 feet. There's literally pieces of engine scattering across the racetrack. I can only imagine Castellano's in the car, like, trying to literally put his foot through the floorboard, like, please come back to life. Let me go get him. And couldn't. So, Pro Mod at Vegas is going to be, I will end here. Pro Mod at Vegas. I've not looked forward to an event. And Pro Mod last year in Vegas had like 7 or 8 cars that could win the title. But like Justin Bond and Jordan Lazick had the 2 best cars, I felt like, most of the year. And like the right 2 cars kind of came down to it in the semis, if I recall, is when that championship was decided. Pick one this week. Like, I got nothing. I mean, in the next race, Vegas. Like, I can't wait for Pro Mod. Pro Mod's going to be edge of your seat every qualifying session. Because, like, Stavrinos didn't qualify 2 races ago. Billy Banica was the bump last weekend. Like, he was not in until the final car down in qualifying. Like, he's the points leader.
Yeah.
Like, we've had that so much this year because they're so tight that, like, every round of qualifying for Pro Mod is going to be edge of your seat. It is peak drag racing when we get to Vegas.
100%. And it's almost like nobody wants it because, like, J.R. Gray has had a terrible road to the championship, and yet he's right there. He's right in the middle of it. Like, they are great.
Right
he's giving it away, left, giving it away, right, giving it away, and he's right in the middle of it, man. He's right in the middle of it, as is Stavrinos and Banica and Menholt and others. All right, rest of the winners. Matt Alvey, comp eliminator, huge victory, first win. He said he was happy being on stage with me. That made me happy. Kevin Helm, super stock. Jimmy Hidalgo, stock eliminator. Allison Pros, back to back. How about Allison Pros? This young lady, she loves. Watch out for her at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Phil Unruh, Super Gas. Dan Lafferty, first-time winner in Top Sportsman. Ricky Horde in Showdown. Chris Holbrook in Factory X. It was great to see Chris. This kid, Cohen Hale, wins everything. Junior Street and Junior Dragster. John DeFlorian wins the championship in Mountain Motor Pro Stock. Wins the race in Mountain Motor Pro Stock. And Haley Antoniani wins in Junior Shootout. Which of those stories would you like to address?
I'll just say the Lucas categories in general. How about that, Joe? Like, Helms wins, Hidalgo wins. They're both in the world title hunt now. Very much so. In some of the Lucas Oil title stuff looked almost insurmountable a couple weeks ago in some of those categories. The Super Gas final, like, Phil Unruh raced his way into a conversation where I don't know how much traveling Phil was planning on doing this fall, but he better be doing it now. And he beat Nathan Prose, who I don't know how much traveling Nathan was planning on doing this fall, but depending on how St. Louis goes this weekend, might want to start thinking about it, right? So, in typical years, by this point, Joe, going into Dallas, you and I can narrow it down to 2 or 3 cars in every class for the most part, right? And there's 1 or 2 classes that are wide open. I challenge you to go look at the Lucas Oil Drag Racing Series point standings and tell me who's going to win the world championship in any category outside of maybe comp eliminator. And we'll have a pretty good idea of comp, I feel like, when we leave St. Louis. Dallas for sure. But it is like upside down across the board. I tried to put a list together today to help our media team start making videos for the banquet, and I was like, look, I can't send them 18 Super Gas drivers. We're not making 18 videos for one class, right? Yeah. And like, I got to 18 and I'm like, okay, I quit, right? Like I legitimately got to 18 people in Super Gas I can make an argument for. So it is wide open in many, many categories, and I'm excited about that. Even on All Funny Car, like, we've been every year for the last 7 years, by this point of the year, we've either been riding Bellemere or Gordon into the trophy. Ryan Howe is the points leader going to Dallas.
Yeah, no, he's won back-to-back races, and he's been great. And so anything is possible. Anything is possible. Yeah. Jason Galvin, I appreciate you coming on the show, giving us a little insight right before your next meeting, and then your next meeting. I told them while you were coming on, I was like, one thing you need to know about working at the NHRA, there are many meetings. They have many meetings. About meetings. I got one on Thursday that'll be part of it. All right.
Me too. Ironically, we're both in that.
I'm headed to Dallas on Thursday. I will have fun. We'll see you when you arrive the following week.
Tuesday. Yeah, we go Tuesday the next week.
Oh, good. That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, we're both going to buy land in Dallas this year.
I would love it. I love Texas. Love living in Texas. I live there for 12 days every year. It's good stuff. All right. Later. There we go. Say bye to Kobe. There he goes. Jason Galvin with us here on WFO Radio. Great insight into the Mission Foods Series, Lucas Oil Series action out there at Worldwide Technology Raceway, which I want to comment on. I'm going to give you a thought. This is the time to put your final comments in the comment section. If there's a topic, if there's something, you got to bring it. But right now, I want to bring us back to one of the best things I get to do is, after something's over, walk down into the pits like Mark Powick, world champion, back-to-back in FlexJet Factory Stock Showdown. That was wild. Ricky Horde won the race, but Cowboy won the championship. And you got to remember, like Mark Powick, he comes down to South Florida a lot. We get to hang out every now and again. And he's got his whole family racing together. They took time off. They're all involved. Cassandra, Kyle, everybody is involved. And for Powick to win back-to-back championships, amazing. Just amazing. Went down to see him in the winner's circle. And then I walked over to the pit of John DeFlorian, who had finished his photographs, and we had a great conversation. John is a wonderful person. And then I actually got the idea, maybe I should do something for WFO, and recorded a quick interview with your Johnson's Horsepower Garage Mountain Motor Pro Stock world champion, John DeFlorian. Let's watch. Hopefully you can feel the energy of the moment. That was the point of it all. WFO here with our Mountain Motor Pro Stock world champion, John DeFlorian. John, you did it. How's it feel?
Oh, it feels
amazing. I didn't think we would ever be a world champion, and be able to say that still hasn't fully sunk in yet. Look at that. Is that not cool or what? Unbelievable. I mean, we had a challenging weekend. Yesterday was kicking our butt. As bad as yesterday was, today was that much good on the good side.
You almost crashed.
We almost crashed yesterday. That's the closest I've ever been to crashing this car. And to go from that to what today brought is unbelievable. It's over the top. And you just can't make this kind of stuff up. I could never thank everybody enough. I cannot. I mean, the guys in the crew here bust their butt all the time doing this. You know, I mean, if you don't have everybody, the driver don't win races. It takes the whole entire team to win races. And we win as a team, we lose as a team. You know, so when it comes down, you know, to Jeff and Jason and Tony and Leanne, my wife, and Lump, the badass crew chief he is, that's what made this happen. It makes it even better. And having great partners like Total Seal come on board, and, you know, Graver Concrete, Amsoil has been on board for a long time. You got to have those people in order for you to be able to come out here, especially a little guy like us, to be able to keep racing. Never thank them enough. I can't thank NHRA enough for giving us opportunities. We love racing. We love racing quarter mile. This is the best. The best.
All right. Were you nervous this whole week? Because you could have wrapped it up in Charlotte, but I know that you wanted to win here. But man, like having to wait a week, and there was a whole scenario. How was your emotions during the week?
This week was horrible. The pressure was immense. I mean, can't sleep all week. We wanted to wrap it up in Charlotte. We had one round to get done. We didn't get it done. We knew we had to come all the way back here. This week the pressure was immense. And then we're coming in here to this race knowing we got to run good. And Friday was a disaster. It's like, oh my God, are you kidding me? After the whole year of doing what we've been through, now it's turning just terrible. Didn't sleep last night at all. Changed everything. We changed everything from the front to the back of the car. I changed my size. I changed my underwear. We changed everything. We didn't want to take any chances of missing something. And to roll out this morning to have the car go out like it did and it knocked the scoreboard down was incredible. Incredible. I mean, it was an amazing run. We thought that was out there if you looked at the conditions, but until you do it, you don't know. And having it leave the starting line and actually getting to use that shifter, I was like, that's what we're supposed to be doing. Putting the parachutes out off the chart.
All right, final question. How many, like a sub question too, how many pro stock chassis do you think you have built or worked on in your career as shop foreman at Jerry Haas Race Cars?
I honestly, we have built well over 750 cars at the shop since we've been doing this down there. And so yeah, it's over that number. It's been a bunch between pro stock, pro mod, top sportsman, comp cars, pro stock trucks. We've had a gamut of cars over the years, and to build this one there, you know, the thing of it is, a lot of people don't realize, I did this car in 2011. 2012 was the first season for this car to be even racing. It's still out there, still doing it. We keep making sure we update it with everything we need to do, but it's a pretty good piece still. And now it's back to work at Jerry Haas as a world champion. John, that's gonna be pretty sweet coming to work on Monday with that, right? You got the Wally back there. He's got the medallion. Yes. You're going to have to give a champion speech. You're going to be at the banquet, the whole thing. John, congratulations. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you. Woo! How about it? John DeFlorian wins the Johnson's Horsepower Garage Mountain Motor Pro Stock. We're going to do an extended interview with John this week on the Hidden Horsepower podcast brought to you by Total Seal. You can check out their YouTube channel. You can check out the podcast feed on Apple Podcast, Spotify, SoundCloud, wherever you get your podcast. Speaking of which, Life's a Drag, 12 noon Eastern time tomorrow. How's that going, guys? Right here in the WFO feed. So if you want to check out Life's a Drag with Jason Logan and Elin Werner, man, just the John Force stories alone are amazing. But those guys are doing a great job, I think. I'm excited. I listened to them on the plane last week, and they are doing a lot of like deep dive drag racing stuff, but they're doing it from a different perspective, which for me is great. You know, not every show is WFO radio. There's a lot of good stuff out there, but check out Life's a Drag, 12 noon Eastern, and let's see what you guys have to say. Final comments. Let's see. Joe, brother, Central Florida Training Ground. Excellent. Thank you so much. Excited for Mark, meaning the Cowboy. Excellent. I posted in the chat section the link to WFO gear. You can get a Life's a Drag t-shirt. You can get a Morris Motorsports t-shirt. You can get a Project Pontiac t-shirt, WFO stuff, etc. Jeff says, go Mariners from Western Montana. Look, I'm a New York Yankee fan and a Miami Dolphin fan. Last night we got the win over the Jets. The Jets just
But we lost Tyreek. Tyreek's leg almost came off, a gnarly injury. Terrible. Hope he gets well soon. Terrible stuff. But it's playoff baseball time. And I know that the McGahays and the Laganas and all of us that are diehard Yankee fans, Sarah, all of us that are diehard Yankee fans, we are feeling the intensity of the moment because we tied for the AL East and we got to play the Red Sox instead of getting a bye. That's one game. We got to play the Red Sox 2 out of 3. The rivalry renewed. And so I'm like channeling my inner Mike Stavrinos at the U.S. Nationals when he said he wanted to run Stevie fast. I wanted to run him. I hope I get to run him. And he did, and he won it. We get to play the Red Sox, baby. We get to have that feeling again, the rivalry renewed, to go up there, and they're coming to Yankee Stadium, but to feel the feeling of consequential eliminations baseball. Going to be awesome. Going to be absolutely awesome. Eddie had said congratulations to Galvin's new niece, Mila. That is very nice. Not very nice. Yeah. Thomas Prock welcomes a new family member. Monica, anxiety tonight. Go Yankees. No doubt. Big time anxiety. Got to say, if not the Mariners, then go Yankees, says Jeff. Thank you. That was easy to pull you over into the Yankee universe. Look, we're not the same team we used to be. We don't have the money like we used to. You know, now there's a lot of people that have way more money than the Stein brothers. Steinbrenners, you know, Big Stein built ships. The Steinbrenner family, they have the Yankees. All these other team owners in the MLB and other sports, they're like internet millionaires and the trillionaires or billionaires. And the Steinbrenners own the Yankees. So it's a different time in the Yankee universe. We're not crying poor. Definitely not crying poor. But what's happening in other teams, now we kind of know what everybody else felt like. Our owners don't want to spend ludicrous money. Big Stein used to spend ludicrous money. So there you go. Got to keep the hope going. That's it. Got to keep the hope going. Congratulations to our winners. Thanks to Matt Hagan, Greg Anderson. Gaige couldn't make it, but Gaige, thank you. Gaige has always made it. I'm surprised that doesn't happen more often. Jason Galvin dies in, does a great job. And I'm headed to Dallas. We talked about it on our Monday Motivation for Patreons. If you'd like to join the Patreon VIP Listener Club, you can go to patreon.com/WFO Radio. Everyone tells me I don't promote it nearly enough, but I don't know. I've got so much to promote. I just want you to listen to WFO. Kara says, good show today. Going to try to watch. Going to be on a cruise to Canada. Way to go. How do you cruise to Canada? I guess up the West Coast. Makes sense. Definitely not a cruise right through North Dakota. That's for certain. But don't forget, we got Hear It from Heiner for the Patreons. The Stampede of Speed is next, guys. Oh, and I just got a note from Dean Dubbin. Look at this. You see that? What is that? That will be in Dallas. The Equalizer, driven by Chase Copeland, is a funster. It'll be an alcohol dragster injected nitro. Say what? Thanks, Dean. WFO, guys.
Like this show? Want more? Then head to WatchPTTV.com, the new 100% free PowerTube TV streaming network. Home of the best classic and new motorsports racing and build shows on the web.